Hey there, I'm Anthony Romano, and this video is going to tell you the difference between burning fat and mobilizing fat, okay? What you want to do is you want to mobilize your fat. You don't necessarily want to only burn it. And a lot of the keto crowd is going to be simply focused on burning fat because there are studies that show you do burn up to 230% more fat on keto, right? Because you're running off of fat. But this video is going to get more into how to mobilize that fat on any diet. So let's get into it. So, if you've seen my other videos, especially the ones from the playlist New Age Fitness Principles or from the Complete Keto playlist, you will know that I always say there's two sides of the coin for fat loss and muscle gain. There's the quantitative side and the qualitative side. So this means you can look at the total energy coming in, so your total amount of calories, or you can look at what your body does with that energy. And the way you look at what your body does is by looking at hormones and their mechanisms. Now, I have other videos that show the studies of these things and the analyses, but I'm trying to teach you a lesson here, and then you can further verify it and, scrutinize it through your own rational thinking and research. But what is mobilizing fat? Well, mobilizing fat is using stored fuel and getting it out, okay? Burning fat simply just means using it for fuel in the moment. So burnt fat can be fat that's been mobilized or it's been fat from your plate. And ketogenic dieters will get very good at burning fat. If you do intermittent fasting, you will get very good at burning fat. And you will get good at mobilizing fat too. But you have to realize the way you mobilize more fat is by slightly adding in some of these quantitative tools. So calorie restriction. So eating window timing, right? Things that are quantitative in nature because they're looking at just a quantity of time or a quantity of energy, okay? So what happens is, and by the way, if you're really interested in diving deeper into this, I highly recommend you go get my program for fat loss, Keto Shred program, on my website, romanoketo.com. I've been doing the ketogenic diet for 10 years almost, and that book is literally all of the best strategies for keto fat loss based on my experience, my research, people I've coached to get to certain goals. So I highly recommend you go get it with the latest discounts that are on my site, romanoketo.com. And also, if you're interested in consulting and coaching, I offer those too, but I'll talk about that another time. So back to mobilizing fat. If you start adding in some sort of calorie slight deficit, then you will mobilize more fat because there's more demand for energy to be procured from stored sources. So example, people who do keto up front, the first month or so, they're going to lose 10 to 20 pounds, right? They're going to lose that fat simply without any calorie restriction. Why? Because their body at first is perceiving that demand based on the drop in insulin, a fat storage hormone. Okay, so stay with me here. What's going to happen is if you are just shocking your body, making it think, holy shit, there's no carbohydrate here, we have such a lower level of insulin, your body's going to say, oh shit, okay, let's mobilize some fuel here because we're used to having higher insulin, which is an anabolic hormone. And basically, from that point, your body's going to receive enough stimulus to mobilize fuel. But after a certain point, you're not going to lose fat on keto after doing that, after your body reaches homeostasis, which is why you need to find other ways to increase the demand. So what actually happens is when your insulin goes down, a hormone called glucagon goes up. Glucagon is responsible for mobilizing fuel when there's no anabolism coming in. There's not enough anabolic stimulus coming in, that which is primarily insulin for most of your body. Okay, insulin's the most anabolic hormone, whether it's for fat storage or for muscle gain. So when it's lower, your body perceives a higher demand to mobilize its own fuel, right? The body is not dumb. So when insulin is low, at first glucagon's going to raise, but eventually things are going to balance out. And the ways you amplify the demand are little things like calorie restriction, little things like fasted workouts, increasing the intermittent fasting window, and about 10 or so other fat loss accelerators, which I do give you all the guide for in the Keto Shred program, which I encourage you to get. But the point is there are other ways, and I have other videos on those other ways to maximize the demand and create a demand for more mobilization of fuel. So that's ultimately the takeaway here. But you have to realize it's not just, this is the last thing you need to write down before you leave this video. It's not just eat less, move more. It is eat more, move more. Because if you eat more and move more, what's going to happen is your body's going to see that you are doing more activity. And then from there, because you are moving more and eating more, your body has a higher demand for fuel to be burnt through because you're not only consuming more that you have to run through, but you're using it up. So it's not just eat less, because if you eat less, that's not going to put any extra demand on your body, right? It's not just if you move less, right? If you just sit on the couch all day and eat less, then there's no extra stimulation and need for fuel to be mobilized. which is why any diet can run into problems with plateauing if you basically don't have enough demand. So you have to realize there's this demand that also comes into place, and you can maximize that. You can manipulate it and get it to work for you if you start using both sides of the coin. You start getting some hormonal manipulation with ketogenic dieting, intermittent fasting, prolonged fasting, some of those tactics that target hormones rather than total energy. And then from there, you manipulate some of the strategies regarding total energy and meal timing to your benefit. And you can get some great tools on how to do that with the Keto Shred program. And if you're interested in working one-on-one, having a Skype call with me personally, go to my website, romanoketo.com, and get an action plan consultation where we will answer every one of your questions as far as it regards to nutrients, to fat storage, fat building, losing fat, building muscle, all those things. I've worked with a variety of different people for a variety of different reasons for years, and we can get to the bottom of it. And hey, if you want to get full one-on-one oversight, I offer coaching for months on end where we're in communication for 24/7 every single day of the week, and I will always respond within a day, but optimally within the first couple hours. So I've had people message me, hey, I'm at the grocery store. Is this keto friendly? Is this going to work with my fasting? What's going to do here, right? And, we iron it out right then and there. So I don't think anybody else really offers a level of service like that and communication. Not even the most expensive personal trainers offer something like that. So that is it for this video. Mobilize your fat. Of course, get better at burning it too with keto and fasting. But overall, just know you have to mobilize it. Anthony Romano, peace. Also follow me on Instagram if you're still here. Peace.